baby boomers, this is kind of a mental image of what they sought or what they aspired to be. Okay, professional, well-dressed, presentable. Okay, and now you've got the younger groups, and this is what they aspired to be. Okay, so once again, it just highlights the dramatic difference in the age groups. Okay, now the millennials, this is the youngest group, born between 81 and 2000. It's 15% of the workforce. They're experts in global communication. It's not anything for them to be talking to a friend over in, Europe using Skype or something like that, free telephone calls, or instant messaging. And then you throw in MySpace and Facebook and tweet and all that stuff. There's no boundaries anymore. Everything seems to be picking up speed, and they're getting a little bit more savvy politically. Now here's a test for you traditionalists and baby boomers. Who's this guy? Okay. Who's that? Hillary Duff? If nothing else, just notice the difference here, how quickly you answered those others. Okay? That's if we had more of the Generation Xers, what'd you say?
Sorry.
If,
got several maybe.
Yeah. I think it's got a couple of them out there. Okay, who's the next one?
Ooh, not the Twilight guy.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
He's on all the pirate movies.
Taylor Swift, that's right.
Chow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not Brad Pitt on a bad hair day.
Oh, that's not very bad.
Kurt.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Nirvana. Oh, Gwen Stefani.
She looks
Right.
like Madonna in younger years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Oh, the guy on the Transformers.
And I still don't know how to pronounce this guy's name correctly.
Shia LaBeouf.
Okay.
Or the guy.
The guy in Transformers.
You're not a closet millennial back there, are you? Okay, on the millennials, the things that help shape their events historically, there was a focus on kids. All right, the baby boomers, they were workaholics, and then you got the Generation X group comes out, and all of a sudden everybody's, hey, I don't want to sacrifice my family as much. I want to make sure I get into all the soccer games and dance lessons and all that stuff. But then this group is also going through a lot of violence. And if you notice the difference on the violence, a lot of it takes place at home, in areas that were once considered safe. At the workplace, at schools, with the Oklahoma City bombing, 9/11, Columbine. Then you've got sex redefined with the Clinton-Lewinsky deal. And then you've got another war, the Afghan-Iraq war, in that time frame. Their core values, they're pretty self-confident, they're pretty social. They feel they've got a pretty good handle on street smarts, and they are the most diverse group in their thinking and in their actions of all the four groups we've looked at. Okay? I find this intriguing, that the cultural effects. Go ahead and hit the next one there. Barney, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Beanie Babies, Oprah and Ellen, Xbox, they're all games. To me, they're all, for the most part, they're childish type things. Okay? They're heroes: Michael Jordan, Princess Diana, Mother Teresa, Bill Gates, Tiger Woods, Christopher Reeves. Mostly personalities, not necessarily people of substance, compared to some of the earlier slides we showed you. Okay? Their assets, they're pretty tenacious when they set their mind to do something. And of all the four groups, they have the better multitasking capabilities. They can be doing 6 things at once, on average. Now, in any given person of this age group, you're going to have ones up and down the scale, but on average, they can multitask pretty good. You just stop and think about it. They're used to being on the phone, on the computer, and, right? And holding a conversation, and driving, okay? And to them, there's nothing wrong with that. That's normal, okay? Their liabilities, they really are inexperienced, and because they've had their nose stuck in the computer and all that other stuff, they have a harder time interacting with people face to face. The leadership style, they like everybody to come together, work together. And having a safe workplace is a big concern to them. You know, it goes back to things like 9/11, Columbine. Right, that scared them. Okay. This is kind of an interesting tidbit. Automakers, it's a big industry in our country. They're paying attention to this group, and they estimate that by 2010, 1 in 4 cars sold will be to this group. So as a result of that, they recognize this group wants more options. They don't want to go and negotiate. Okay, just stop and think about this for a second. When you were growing up, it was nothing to go out and barter for something that you wanted to buy. Today, these kids, they grew up. The price is up on the wall on Walmart, and there's no negotiating with Sam Walton, is there? You either pay that or you don't buy it. So as a result of that, there's more. You see more car dealerships switching to this kind of thing. Actually, I know of one that's from an affiliation I've got with a chamber member. GM's actually coming out with a program where they're getting it implemented. In the beginning stages of getting it implemented, where you can actually go to a facility. It's not a car dealership, and you can have pre-selected. I want to test drive this, and this car. No obligation to buy, but just they want to introduce you to those cars. And it's more of an approach to attract to these kids, to these younger groups here, because that's the way they like to do it. Ford's come out with this sync system that's got all the computers, the music, and all the gadgets in there. And those cars, I think, have just started hitting the road. Okay. But yet, 70% of the kids in this group said they wouldn't want to work in the auto industry. Okay. The millennials, what they expect, they want to work in a computer-related field, or law, or psychology. You don't see manufacturing up there. When you see business up there, it's more financial related. Okay. And any of us that have had college kids, we all know, or been around college kids, you all know they go to college. Then when they graduate, they expect to be making $100,000. And what's wrong with you when you don't hire them? And they're lucky to make minimum wage in some cases. Okay. The Society of HR Managers, it's actually an international group. They did a survey of 4,300 graduates over 44 countries, Europe, United States, and all over. And the millennials view technology as being the savior. Okay? They are comfortable giving their employers greater access to their information. Most of us who were in the other groups are not. They intend to be loyal to their organization, but they're not going to do it blindly. And they understand that they're responsible for their own retirement. They have no illusions about somebody else taking care of them. They also, remember this is taken over 44 countries, but the expectation of those graduates is that China, India, and Russia will grow larger and more economically impacted. And the companies will be more influential than governments. Okay? The reality check for the millennials, though, is pretty eye-opening. This was taken, back in the middle of 2008. Workers aged 29 or less, unemployment for them was 11%, while the national average was only 7%. This is that reality hitting that group. And part of that is because employers are willing to hire people who have a good work ethic. Okay. So some of those kids they either need to learn from the school of hard knocks, or you need to help them along.